What is good with you guys, man? Today I'm going to be showing you guys the best. What is good with you guys, man? Today I'm going to be going over the best cards to invest in NBA 2K23 My Team. Out of all these new playoff cards, which ones are the best to invest in to make a ton of MT? But before we get into it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. I post multiple My Team videos every single day, but let's get straight into it. So first things first, obviously I'm expecting that a lot of you guys know how these playoff cards work, but let me just quickly get into it. Let's say Jayson Tatum, as you can see, he has a Galaxy Opal right here, playoff card. If he goes off for a 40 piece next game in a W, or like a 35 piece in a W, he will evolve up to a Dark Matter card. So that means that the card will obviously be much more expensive because it's a better edition of the card. And we saw that happen last night with Steph Curry. He went for a 50 piece and he went from a Galaxy Opal up to an improved card, which is a Dark Matter. So this can happen with any of the players that are left in the playoffs, and we all know that. But let's get straight into some of the best players that I am personally investing in right now. As you can see, I do have over 1 million MT, so you might want to take my advice on some of these. I probably won't hit on every single one, but a lot of these are some really good investments. With the first card here, we're going to go over to the Phoenix Suns, and I haven't seen really a lot of people talking about this card, and it's going to be Chris Paul. Now, Chris Paul has not had any huge games throughout the playoffs so far this year, but we've seen him in years past blowing up on random games throughout the playoffs, like last year, for example, where he randomly just had a massive 38-point game. So this is a good, cheap card to invest in. That's why I think it's a good one, is because of the fact that you could pick him up for around 40,000 MT, and that is what makes this card such a valuable one, because if you're able to pick him up at 40,000, even 50,000 MT, let's say 50K, you're able to pick up a Chris Paul, and let's say next game he goes off for a huge game and evos up to a Dark Matter. At least on the first day, you're going to be able to sell this card for at least 100,000 MT. So you're going from 50 to 100K. That's 50,000 profit. And if you're able to pick up multiple of these, you can even make more than that. But even just 50,000 off one is just such a good investment. And if you're able to get two, that's 100K right there. As you can see, me personally, I do have, where is he? I have two of these CP3s. He is a phenomenal investment. That's a good budget investment for 50K. But if you're looking for an even cheaper investment, this one is going to be a little bit riskier, but it is a cheap investment that I have invested in myself, and I'm looking to possibly even pick up more, and it's Jalen Brunson. As you can see here, I've talked about him in videos past, but he is such a cheap investment. It doesn't even make sense to me why he's this cheap. You can get one of these Jalen Brunsons, as you can see, for 30K MT, and let's see if there's any cheaper. 30K, looks like it is the cheapest one you can pick up, but that is so cheap. 30,000 MT for this Brunson, and he's obviously still in the playoffs right now, playing against the Heat in the second round, and he is the best player on the New York Knicks. So all he needs is one big game throughout this entire second round series versus the Heat, and he will evo up to a Dark Matter. Now, similar to the Chris Paul, he's not going to be a very expensive Dark Matter because of the fact that he is 6'2" and probably won't have the best animations. But again, if you're able to evolve him on the day that he is able to evolve, like which would be the day after he has a big game, let's say he goes off for 35 next game in a W, then the next day in the morning he'll be able to evolve. So go ahead and evolve him as soon as you can and throw him up right away for 100K bid price as a Dark Matter, and you'll be looking at some good profit. If you're able to pick up one of these Brunsons for 30K, and obviously even if you're just able to flip it up for a buy now, the Dark Matter, which would sell for 100K, you're looking at 70,000 MT profit per Jalen Brunson. So if you have 30,000 MT in your account and you have any type of trust in Jalen Brunson, this is a really good investment to go ahead and pick up on. Now, again, like I said, this is not a guaranteed investment with Jalen Brunson because he is a riskier guy. But I truly do believe that he will have at least one. All he needs is one big game throughout the entire second round, and he'll evolve up to a Dark Matter. So me personally, I have invested in him, and I'm looking to possibly pick up maybe even a few more of these for 30K because we're looking at 70K profit per card. So this is one that I would strongly advise you consider. Now for the next one, it's going to be one that's over here on the Celtics. Now, obviously, first things first, Jayson Tatum, but he's very expensive because of the fact that people realize that he's going to be a very good Dark Matter, and he will for sure evolve because he's on a great team and he's a great player. He's for sure going to evolve. It's just going to take a few more games at most. But The one that you can go ahead and invest in for cheaper is going to be Jaylen Brown. And I do have faith in Jaylen Brown. I don't know if you guys saw when I just showed my auction house, but I do have 2 Jaylen Browns in my auction house. And again, I have a lot of faith and trust in him. This is one that I deem to be less risky than a lot of the other. Like, I'm more confident in Jaylen Brown evolving up to a dark matter than CP3 or Jalen Brunson. Obviously, the problem is with this Brown, you're going to be having to spend around 100 to 120K to pick him up. But if you have enough MT to go ahead and pick this card up, this is a phenomenal investment because he'll be at least 200, 250K, maybe even 300K, depending on what animations they give him, the day that he evolves up to a dark matter. So this is one that I would strongly advise you do if you have over 100K MT and you're looking to invest your MT into a card. I think this is a really safe one to go ahead and pick up. Now, another cheap one, this is going to be risky as well, is going to be Rob Williams. Again, I just showed my auction house. I don't know if you guys saw, but I have about 7 of these Rob Williamses. And the reason is because he's around 10,000 MT, even cheaper than that. As you can see, 11K, and it hasn't even sold, and it's been 3 hours. You could pick this card up for about 5 to 10K each. This is a phenomenal budget option because of the fact that he's, like I said, only 5 to 10,000 MT for one of these Rob Williamses. So it's not that big of a risk. Even if he doesn't have a big game, okay, you lost out on maybe 8,000 MT, no big deal. But if he has a big game, it goes up to a dark matter, you're looking at an investment of 8,000 turning into 100,000 MT, which is over 90,000 MT profit per Rob Williams, which is just insane. Which is why, like I said, I have a lot of these Rob Williamses because the reason why I have so many is because he's so cheap. Now, I understand that he is a little bit cheap because of the fact that he's definitely not guaranteed to evolve up to a dark matter because he's not a starter. He does come off the bench for Boston usually, but we've seen him already have one big playoff game, and I watch a lot of Celtics basketball, and I know how good and how capable this guy is of having a big game in the second round or possibly even the conference finals. So me personally, as you guys can see, I have about 7 of these, 6 right here, and then 1 amethyst in my collection over here. So I definitely would advise you guys to just pick up 1 or 2 of these. He's very, very cheap. It's worth the risk in my opinion. Just pick up 1 or 2. You could be looking at over hundreds of thousands of profit from this Rob Williams. And let me know if any of you guys have him as well, if it was just me that has thought of that so far, but I really do like that. Now, another riskier one right here is going to be James Harden. Now, I wouldn't honestly advise you guys to take a James Harden. The only reason I say that, I feel like if you have the MT to spare, pick up a Harden. I really kind of want to just because of the fact that Embiid is out. So if he has a massive game in a W, James Harden would end up being an expensive card anyways. And as you can see right here, oh, I wasn't able to win him. I'm not spending 125. But if I was able to get one for like 115, I would be fine with that. I currently do not have one, but if I was able to pick one up for about 115K, I would say that's a decent investment. He's not guaranteed to have a big game in the second round, but me personally, I have enough MT where I'm willing to take that risk because if he does end up as a dark matter, you know how good James Harden cards are, and James Harden would be going for probably at least 300K, which would be a phenomenal come up of over 200,000 profit. So that is one that you should consider if you have a couple 100K MT in your account. For sure. Now, as you guys can see, I did actually recently invest in this Looney. He was going off last night for the Warriors, and I went ahead and picked him up for 75,000 MT. And even if he doesn't sell here, if I put him up for 100K buy now, he will sell right away. So 75K to 100K, that's a good 20,000 MT profit after taxes. And I will definitely take that off of a very simple investment right here with this Kevon Looney. So that's just the type of stuff that you guys need to be doing. You need to be looking out for watching these games and seeing if anybody starts to go off, starts to get hot, go quickly to 2K, check what their price is and pick one up for cheap if you think they will have a chance of evolving. Again, you have to make sure that the player is having a good game and that the team is on pace to win, and you could possibly be looking at some solid MT that you can make off that card. Now, as we all know, over here in the Western Conference, we have the Nuggets left as well, and Nikola Jokic is a really good one to invest in. The thing is with this Jokic is I wouldn't spend more than like 150K on him. As you can see, he's sitting at like 128 right here, and there's not a lot of these up. The reason why there's only 4 of these up is because people are smart in holding on to this Jokic. They don't want to sell him yet. They want to hold on to him because they really do believe that he'll have a big game and go up to a dark matter, and I am one of those people because as you can see, I do have one of these Jokic's in in my collection. Now with the Embiid one, Embiid is a decent one as well, but I'm more confident in Jokic, honestly, to have a big game than I am Embiid, just because Embiid is coming off an injury, and the Celtics are usually pretty good defensively against Embiid, but I still do have one, so I still do think he will evolve, but I'm more confident in Jokic, but they're two great investments. Anyways, go ahead and leave a comment right now. What cards have you guys invested in these playoff cards? How many cards? And go ahead and leave a comment of which cards you have invested in. I want to see who you guys are investing in, what are just some of the good options that you guys have picked up. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Go and leave a like on this video right now and subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm out of here, boys. Peace.